Good morning. Today is Saturday, June 14th. It's going on 6:15 in the morning. So I plan on going in the house a little bit before 10 a.m. It's going to be 93 degrees today. And I won't be coming back out until later on this evening. So I got a lot to get done. I pulled all of the new chicken food out of my car. I got to get soil out of my car. And then, well, before I get the soil out of my car, I gotta feed the chickens and the chicks first because they'll keep on whining until they get what they want. Then I'll pull the soil out of my car. Also, I got some more strawberry plants. I'm planning on putting these in the purple green stock over there. I need to harvest I forget what the top one is, but I also need to harvest mint because it's overgrown a little bit. You need to harvest your herbs at least once a week. And then I'm going to start planting some of these in the corn bed. And hopefully I can get to one of the garden beds over there and at least start emptying out the soil. And then later on this evening, put the gopher mesh down and put soil in it. And put gopher mesh down and then put the soil back in it. Sorry. Also, I need to trim the tomato trees this morning. So I got a lot to do. I won't be filming myself doing it, but I will walk over and show you tomato trees. Show you what the tomato plants look like right now, so you can get a sense what I'll be chopping from the bottom and repinning and stuff. So this is what they look like now. This is the chocolate cherry tomato, and this is the sweetheart cherry tomato. Here comes a car, just a moment. Okay, so also I did go and plant some more alyssum, marigolds, and nasturtiums in this garden bed yesterday morning, like all in the front of the bed. And yeah, I really need to go through these tomato plants, cut suckers, cut bad looking leaves, and tomorrow I'll probably be doing some fertilizing of stuff. So I have a lot to get done today besides watering the garden. So let me go and I'll show you everything once I'm done. Okay, here's the after. I have trimmed all of the tomato plants. As you can see, looks a little less bushy. This is the sweetheart tomato plant. And boy, was she bushy, but look at her now. These are the aromas. There's aroma. There's aroma. This is the chocolate cherry and another aroma. And back here are more of your slicers. I got some mushroom. My mortgage lifters are over here. Let me show you how much I've cut. This whole container right here. I cut all of that off. So you want to keep your tomato plants trimmed and clean and dead leaves because you don't want them to get diseases. You want the pollinators to be able to get in and pollinate your flowers. Even though tomato plants, the flowers carry the female and male parts, and you can kind of just jiggle the flowers and they'll go ahead and pollinate themselves. But I always have bees and everything else going on around here. So, sorry, listening to the birds. I don't mind them coming in and pollinating things. Something else I did right now, I opened the side panels on these because look, I have flowers. I have eggplant flowers. I think I have another one somewhere, but this one is pretty prominent. Okay, I need to get in here and trim them, but it's starting to get hot. What time is it? Let me look at my trusty watch here. Ugh. Sorry. It is 8:32. I did pretty good. Now I'm gonna go go get my Cherokee wax beans, plant like 2 or 3 or maybe 4 in this bed, and get the pumpkins and start planting those in here. But I'm also going to add my soil booster to this garden bed with the corn and the sunflowers in it. After that, I'm going to go in the house and eat breakfast and start putting together these other garden beds that I should have put together a while ago. And I also think I'm going to try to make calcium out of my eggshells that I have in the house. So just because I'm not going to be outside for a few hours doesn't mean that my day is going to end. There's stuff for me to do on the inside, and there's stuff for me to do on the outside. I've watered everything. Everything's looking pretty good. Oh, something else. I need to take out this chamomile later and put fresh soil in there and replant some more, because it's on me, I did not harvest all of my chamomile like I should. I have a lot of chamomile on the house, by the way, but I still didn't harvest it. So what happens is it begins to dry out and form seeds. But I have so many chamomile seeds that I really don't need anymore. So what is that noise? Sorry. So I'm going to go ahead. The lizards are crawling up one of my lights. So I'm going to go ahead, pull that chamomile out, refresh those 2 containers, and also pull out the rest of the poppies, cut the rest of the poppies down so I can get those seeds, pull those out, and replant for next year. So I got a lot that I have to do in the garden this weekend, but since it's starting to get hot, I don't want to get overheated. And I also got to pull out my onions too. I don't want to get overheated and sick. So there are some things I'm waiting to do for later. Okay, so I will be recording myself later on this evening. Bye. Okay, so I've planted 4 of the Cherokee wax beans and 2 of my New England sugar pie pumpkins. Let me show you. So here's one of the wax beans right here, and here's one of these. This is a New England sugar pie pumpkin right there. Let me come around to the other side. Wax bean right here, and another wax bean right there, and deep in here, New England sugar pie pumpkin. So what I've learned from YouTube University when doing the 3 Sisters is that you want your corn stalks to kind of grow up first before you start planting your beans. That's another reason why I planted beans and cucumbers and stuff kind of late, because they're vining vegetables. If you plant, this is what I've heard through the YouTube University, is that when you're doing the 3 Sisters and you plant your bean plants next to the corn, when it's too small, the beans will start wrapping around the corn stalk and take it over and eventually just pull it down. So that's why I waited a couple of weeks for the corn to go ahead and grow. Now, regarding the squash is supposed to cover the ground, okay, and give a little coolness to the ground cover, a little shade down there. Also, as you know, I planted sunflower seeds, tall ones and regular size ones, in the same garden. I also just got through putting soil booster soil down. So I'm about to re-water this bed. Why? Because I just planted all this stuff and I want to give the corn and the beans and the squash a more long time solution for fertilizer. I will also be giving a liquid fertilizer throughout the season. But yeah, I wanted to get some of those beans and that squash in here. I wanted to try the 3 Sisters because I only have so much space in my yard, and I felt that it was a good idea. Now, regarding all of the other seeds, I'm going to put those in separate containers eventually. And of course, where I had the onions and the garlic, that's where I'm going to plant the rest of the squash and the cucumbers. The watermelons are going to go into containers this season. Okay, so yeah, that is it for now. I'm going to go ahead and water this garden bed. It's after 9 a.m. and then I'm going in the house. Okay, see you guys later. Hello, so I'm in the house where it's cool. And I bought 2 of these planting beds with shelves. This is what they look like. Okay, and let me show you what they look like unassembled. Bam. So this is what I'm putting together today. That's what I'm putting together today. And I have 2 of them. But after watching the videos on Amazon, it didn't seem that hard to put together. They also have absorbing ropes or wicks. Has a wicking system, which is really awesome. And it has a little reservoir for water. These cost $28.19. I just happened to be on Amazon thinking, looking up vertical gardens, because the vertical gardens I have by my current bistro set area are not doing that great. And what I wanted to do is take something and tie the ones I have together. I'm not giving up on them. So this is actually perfect because I can plant my wax beans in here, and probably my wax beans and maybe my watermelons, or maybe my sugar snap peas in there. So I think I might do all the beans in there, as a matter of fact. I think that's a good idea. Sugar snap peas and Cherokee wax beans in those, and probably plant some flowers and stuff at the base of it. So it also has wheels. It also has a little bird bath drinking thing, so birds and bees at the top of it. Let me show you. Up here at the top. So you can put water and birds and bees can drink out of it. So I think it's a nice little thing. Once I'm done, I'll show you everything. It has wheels on it. However, about the time I bring it to the bistro, I'll probably be able to wheel it a little bit to get it over there. But once I fill it up with soil and get everything together, I will no longer be able to wheel it along. So, okay, let me get started. It is only 10:41 in the morning and the sun is beaming and I'm in the house where it's cool. Okay, I'll be back with you guys and show you what I have when I'm done. Okay, I'm done, and that was quick. It is 11:14. Okay, actually it took me about 25 minutes. I was just reviewing the first part of this video. Wanted to see what it looked like, and now I'm looking at this. So it took about 20 minutes. So let me show you what it looks like. Let's lower this so you could see. Not too bad. There are wheels on the bottom. Let me see if I could. I don't want to pull it up there. The wicking system. I don't know if you can see the ropes in there. I did have to kind of hammer some pieces together just to make sure that they were okay. Turn the camera around this way, sorry. Oh my goodness, can you see me? Okay, really weird. Okay, so this is it, the bird bath. This is how tall it is. Oopsie. This is the part where things will trellis up. Of course, you put your soil in here and water. It has a little reservoir. The wicks are in there. The bird bath, everything. It really did not take that long to put together. It is very light. It has wheels on it. But of course, once you put the soil in, it's probably going to be too heavy to move. But I will be putting this outside later and planting my sugar snap peas and my Cherokee wax beans. So, okay, all I have to do is put together the second one, and then we should be all good. So I'll put a picture of both of them together at the end so you can see them together. So I'll be planting the Cherokee wax, yellow Cherokee wax beans in one, and then the sugar snap peas in the other, and probably some flowers at the base. Most likely alyssum, marigolds, or maybe nasturtiums. It stays pretty cool in a little area where my bistro is, so we'll see. I'll get it together, but these won't be going outside till later because it's just like too hot right now. Okay, I'll catch you all later when I'll show you what I'm doing outside later. Bye. Hello, I told you guys I was going to be busy in the house while it's hot outside. It is 2:42 in the afternoon, and I have bags and bags and bags of dried eggshells. Some people take their eggshells right away, crack them up, dry them in the oven, toast them in the oven for about 20 minutes, I think, at a temperature of like 300. I don't know, because we usually we use the eggs, we leave the eggshells out and just let them dry naturally. A lot of people say it's to, they put them in the oven to get bacteria out of them and make sure they're dry. These have been dry for months. And guess what? I got 2 more bags like these of eggshells stored right here in the kitchen. So it's time that I make liquid calcium out of these eggshells. So I have used my old school NutriBullet here. In fact, let me unplug it. When I don't use stuff, I like to unplug it. And I had to go out and get a new like NutriBullet thingy, because when you pulverize eggshells and certain things, it scratches up the inside of the cup. So I just went and bought me a new one that I won't use for gardening or anything. Now, what I used to do and what I used to think was you can crush up and powder the eggshells and just put them directly into your garden bed and they break down. You can do that. However, over the years, I have still found eggshells in my garden because it takes them years, probably like 10 years to break down. So I don't have time for that. I need the tomato plants, the eggplants, and the peppers to get calcium right away. So what I've already done is taken some of the eggshells, and you see I have my container here, eggshell calcium, and I have powdered it down. I still have 1 whole eggshell in here. It's driving me nuts. Let me see if I can get my hand in there. You can powder it, and some of them still won't break down. Okay. Now, I have about 2 cups of eggshells in here. I'm going to take the eggshells and pour them, and you see I have large jars, candy jars, and pour them in about 8 cups of distilled vinegar. So I believe the recipe is 8 cups of vinegar to 1 cup of the eggshell. And then what you do, it causes a chemical reaction, and the vinegar pulls the calcium from the eggshells. And once you see it done separating, I'll take some cheesecloth, put it on top of this container, and then I will pour the calcium solution through the cheesecloth because I don't want any egg clumps left. Now, where did I learn this from? YouTube University. I found a lot of videos from YouTube University. YouTube University could be a good thing because I don't want the eggshells. I want it to break down and take effect to my plants immediately. And I will be starting to do this all the time because I have chickens and we eat eggs. And I'll be having lots of eggshells. So my mother has been like, what are you going to do with these eggshells? You're not doing anything with these eggshells. So I'm going to start off with this amount right here. And if I see that it's not enough, which I think it'll be enough for this first go around, then I will be breaking down this bag and the other 1.5 bags that I have over there. We have not been saving any more eggshells because I have so many. It's like my mom's like, Precious, enough is enough with the eggshells. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this into this vinegar into a large mason jar, which it has cup sizes and ounces and milliliters and everything on it. So I'm going to start with the vinegar, because if you pour the vinegar into the eggshells, it'll just, you know how those old volcano science experiments, it will do that. So I'm gonna start off with I'm gonna do 4 cups of vinegar. Oh, you can't see it right here, sorry. 4 cups of vinegar. Okay. And then I'm never prepared. You guys know how I am. Let me go get my scooper. Well, no, I'll just pour it. Turn off this fan because I don't want eggshell dust flying everywhere. And I'm just going to start pouring it in here. Slowly. See that little chemical reaction happening? So what it does, it forms a layer on top, and we want the vinegar to pull out the calcium. And that's why you just don't want to take the vinegar and pour it in here, because it'll be like, okay. So once this is done, from there I will show you the next process, which I'm going to use all of this. So I'm going to, once I pour all of the eggshells into here and watch it do its chemical reaction, I'm going to clean this out, and then I'm going to take cheesecloth and lay it on top, and then pour this back in there through the cheesecloth. Now, what some people do is they take the leftover paste of the eggshells from this, and they still put it in the garden bed. And you could do that, and I may do that. I don't know. But, yeah. That is the chemical reaction. Because I want immediate use. I always get, what do you call it? Bottom rot on my tomatoes, especially on my aromas. The first batch of them, I'll start getting the bottom rot. And a lot of times it could be because it's not enough watering, but adding calcium to the bed could possibly help. I already have flowers on my tomato plant, so I kind of hope that this helps quickly, but we shall see. I have been watering every day. When today it's 93. When it starts getting in the hundreds, I water in the morning and I water in the evening, because it gets that hot. The top layer of all my beds are always crusty. A lot of people say you have to mulch. However, my town or city is one of the cities in California that is known for high winds, along with the desert area. I live in the Pass area. I have mulched before, and after those high winds, I have come outside and saw all the mulch at my wall. The garden beds were completely empty at my wall. People say, well, you have to wet it. Of course you have to wet it. I put the mulch down, I wet it, I soak it. That wind dries the mulch and pushes it out of the way. So I don't mulch anymore. And what I'm learning this year is to companion plant, and to have more of garden bed covers that have roots in the ground. So every gardener does what they want in their garden. I know that I wasted a lot of money on mulch because when those winds hit, and they can hit for like a week, the mulch is gone. The trees are sideways. So I've learned how to work with everything. So that's why I don't mulch. Okay? And the garden beds are hard on top. So everybody has their thing that they need to do to keep their garden going. So I'm going to continue, go ahead and pour some more of the eggshells in here. And let me get it closer so you can see. See, they're falling down, going up, coming down. Okay? And then I will come back to you once I'm going to clean this out and pour the calcium in there into the other jar. Okay. Well, I poured the eggshell a little bit too quickly. And this is what happens. I ran to the sink. I got to the sink in time. And that's okay. It's still usable. But yeah. That is what I meant by you have to be careful because it's like a volcano. Now it's starting to deflate. Look at it. Science is very interesting. Okay, so as you can see, I finally got all of the old eggshells in here, and it's still processing. Let's see if I can get it closer. You can still see stuff lifting and going up and going down. So I'm going to leave this in here for a while. It's 3:44 in the afternoon. And then once this looks a little bit more clear, I will go ahead and get my cheesecloth and strainer and strain all of this out, and then I'll have my calcium. Okay, so the solution is still doing its thing. Every now and then I see a big pop of this pop up and start dissolving into the vinegar. So it is now 5:20. It's now 5:20 in the evening, so I'm gonna go back outside, check on the chicks, see if I have some eggs, and see what else I can do out there. Just a moment. It is 89 degrees. I think I'm gonna wait another 30 minutes to 6 o'clock. I'll be back with you guys. Man, my chickens thought they was nickel slick, but they was a penny short. Let me show y'all where they laid their eggs at. I'm in the sun. They laid their eggs right over there. Probably because it's warm in the coop and I get it, but usually they lay it by the door. No, they laid it over there like I couldn't get them. I got my long stick with the 3 teeth thing and pulled them on out. Got my eggs. I had a feeling when I bought this coop, let me turn this up, they was going to be laying eggs up under there. You think I ain't going to get them eggs? I got them eggs. Like I said, they thought they was nickel slick, but they was a penny short. I got them eggs. Can't fool the fresh. Okay, I'm still out here in the yard. It's getting slightly cooler, but the sun is still out. Let me show you what I've done so far. I've pulled out most of the onions, except those in the middle that have gone to seed. I think I have one that hasn't. I will deal with those in the morning. This is the container that my poppies were in. And then over here, this is the container that my chamomile was in. These two. So I pulled out the chamomile because it was just like dead. It was time, and I've harvested a lot of chamomile this year. I'm planning on planting watermelons on all three of those containers. And also I still have some white My brain. It's on the tip of my tongue and it won't come out. Sweet potatoes. Oh my God. Like, that was just like the hardest thing in the world. I think I need to start playing memory games and speech games. I pray I don't have Alzheimer's or something when I get older, because I'm like way too young to be forgetting stuff like that. Anyway, so all three of those containers where I pulled out the poppies and the chamomile, I am going to re-fertilize the soil, and I'm going to plant my sugar baby watermelons in there, because these are actually bush sugar baby watermelons. Let me show you everything I picked out of those containers. Right there. Yep. Now, I mentioned the sweet potatoes. I am going to put a grow bag in between the two containers that the chamomile was in, and I am going to put those white sweet potatoes in a very large grow bag. So I'm trying to use as much space in my garden as possible. The chamomile has been there for a long time. I'm surprised it stayed as long as it did, but it was time for it to come out. And then when fall season comes, I will be planting more poppies and more chamomile, because I just love them so much. So I did get the rest of the pods off of the poppy flowers and put them in my shed. The other onions, I put them in a cardboard box and covered it up for the night until I can get to them tomorrow. I did bring out the 2 garden beds that I put together in the house. They're outside in my bistro area, and yeah, so I'll be doing a lot more stuff tomorrow morning, but it's time for me to rest. It's time for me to throw this dried chamomile and poppy flowers into our green recycler. The chicks have been fed, and the hens, Deacon A and Nickel Slick, but they a penny short, got their eggs. They're ready to go. I'll check their water in the morning. And that is it for this evening. I am not going to do too much more, because it's still like 89 degrees outside. I'll say it's about 87. It's probably gone down like 2 points. So that's the end for this video. As I always say, please find peace within yourself, and please be peaceable with everyone around you. I love you all. Have a fabulous Saturday evening, and stay safe. Bye.